Goodbye.
Yeah.
He was just sending him back home. He was throwing him back home.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back to Pineapple and Lemon.
Hello there. Welcome back.
What do we got today?
I think we have a TV show.
Woo!
I've seen the show, and I know you've seen the show.
I've seen this show.
And I'm like, but what if there was somebody that hadn't seen the show?
Huh. I wonder, were we able to find somebody?
I do believe we did.
Who is it?
We've got Jenna with us here.
Jenna!
Hello. What are we watching today?
We're watching The Boys. Jenna, do you know anything about The Boys?
I have heard a little bit,
What have you heard?
like a few character names, slight idea of like
Superheroes.
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard it called a little bit of a deconstruction of the whole superhero
Oh,
thing.
you're speaking to some intellectuals.
I have heard enough about it that I have not watched it because I don't assume that it'll quite be to my taste, but I am curious if that is accurate or not.
For me, I saw the first season when it came out. Like, I think it was a couple months after it had come out. I read the comics for it, so I do know the way the comics end. The show is veering off of that course, so I'm kind of in the same boat with everyone else where I don't really know where we're headed.
We watched it when it came out. So I should say, sorry, I think Steven watched the first season when it first came out. And then he was like, oh, I got a show for you. I'm like, oh, okay. And so he put this on for me. I'm like, well,
You're like, I'm hooked.
I'm like, I wasn't expecting it. And now I'm really curious as to where this is going to go. So I have the IMDb plot synopsis for those who haven't seen it. Jenna. It was about a group of vigilantes set out to take down corrupt superheroes who abuse their powers.
Do they have their own logo?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
VOT
That makes
Studios.
sense. Okay,
It
we're
makes
there.
a lot of sense.
Yo, I am so psyched for Invisible Force 2.
Jenna, you're gonna see some graphic things, just so you know.
Yeah,
Like,
graphic
we're
warning.
giving you a content warning.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, trigger warning. I don't know if that's needed or not. But you're also gonna recognize some filming locations because this was all shot in Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like a lot of work is done in Toronto for the show, which is really cool.
Yes.
I haven't watched this since the first time I've seen it when it came out, this episode.
Steven loves showing off the last couple minutes of this episode.
I haven't rewatched any of this show.
I haven't either. I feel like I need to because I feel like there's some things that I've missed.
And I mean, it's pretty obvious, but like the people in The Boys are pretty much a 1-for-1 of the Justice League.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like she's Wonder Woman.
I was going to say, definitely getting the Wonder Woman vibes.
Yeah.
Your Superman knockoff.
Superman gone rogue.
Honestly.
Superman gone the worst possible.
The absolute worst.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
He was just sending him back home. He was throwing him back home.
Thanks, Jennifer.
This part of his life reminded me of Shaun of the Dead, the opening.
Honestly. It really does.
And it's funny because Simon Pegg was the inspiration for Huey in the comics. So that's why he plays Huey's dad.
Yes.
But in the comics, the character looks like Simon Pegg.
Yep.
An A-train mouse. It's the fastest mouse. You ever have your girlfriend completely combust on you?
Jeez.
I love the spinal cord is just floating.
Everything just floating.
Oh.
So when I first saw this, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Steven showed me this.
the show.
In the first 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, cool.
She got run through by a speedster.
Yeah.
Yep.
That doesn't happen on the Flash TV show, I'll tell you that.
No.
It really does set you up, though, for the minimum that you can expect from the show.
Because this is the first.
I was gonna say, I
5
feel like,
minutes.
Like that's like
This is how I felt when I watched Game of Thrones.
At the Q&A, they always asked me what my wish was. And I always said to save the world.
If you're in a pageant for like Little Miss Superhero, wouldn't they all answer save the world? Like, is that not
would
just
hope so.
the stock answer?
yeah.
Does that set you apart?
Thought Robin's service was nice.
Do you think of stuff we've watched on this channel? Simon Pegg might be one of the most reoccurring actors.
I think so. He's been in a lot of the stuff that we've watched.
Cornetto, Star Trek, like
Boys.
this. He's the go-to.
He really is. I mean, it's not a bad thing. He's great.
No, it's just funny.
Get the hell out! think about it.
A little bit of a different reaction.
The way we wish we could react and the way we have to react.
I mean, he could have reacted the first way.
He could have.
He had the right to.
100%.
Yeah. They already heard that. Yeah, right? You might have heard two women screaming, but that wasn't us. The phone cut out. So loving. So nice of his father.
They're there.
Pat. At a distance.
Arm's length.
You don't have to fight. You never have.
I think there's a nicer way to say that.
It's like his son is going through a traumatic event.
Yo.
It's not going to come off well.
Huey, where are you going?
Away from you.
What do you think? We're going to have a nice afternoon together after that?
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna watch a show together.
Yeah. So she just submitted a tape of her talking to a camera. That's all it took.
It showed her powers, yeah.
Which was breaking the camera, so you couldn't see them.
Yeah, right?
You know, none of that really matters.
I forgot about her, to be honest.
How could you forget?
I don't know how I could.
Yeah, that's why we love you.
She has no idea what she's getting into,
Nope.
does she?
She has no idea. Not Aquaman. Definitely not Aquaman.
Definitely not
No.
Aquaman.
My good friend, the lamplighter, has retired.
Pausing for dramatic effect, like he died.
No, he retired.
Yeah, but he was pausing long enough that it was like he died.
He's gone to the big farm upstate. He's retired.
retired.
That's his, isn't it?
I mean, it's not that interesting of a chair.
Here's a chair.
Would have thought it'd be more like throne-like or something.
Yeah.
It's just basic office chair.
You put the flag behind it.
Yeah, it should be like red, white, and blue, like something.
I actually had a poster of you.
How long has he been in the 7 for?
I would say like at least 5-10 years. She can't be pushing to like over 20.
She's supposed to be like 20.
Yeah, so
So I guess if she was
15?
I guess.
I think that's about the age that you start putting those kind of posters on your walls.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have all heard Translucent stopped a home invasion.
So nice of them to get Jimmy Fallon to come on to the boys.
Right?
You have to be completely naked, right?
Yeah, kind of unfortunate power set.
Yo.
This is a whole like monkey's paw universe where it's like you get this, but it comes along with this.
How many nannies shake their babies?
First line of the series.
Like trying to get ketchup out of a bowl.
All right, we got another actor that's been in quite a few things we've watched.
Him and Simon.
I heard what happened to Robin.
This character is essentially how I see him now. Like, even though he's been in a bunch of other things,
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, he's Butcher.
Yep. He's Butcher. That's it. That's all. There's nothing more to it.
You don't sound like a Fed.
What, I can't emigrate?
I think he sounds like a, like a man in charge kind of deal.
The main reason that you won't hear about it.
Dundas Square.
Do people assume this is New York? Like, is that?
I guess if you're not from Toronto, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're from Toronto, like the locations are quite obvious.
Because I mean, like Times
Like the
Square.
Eaton Center's like literally right there.
Yeah, like Times Square obviously doesn't look like this, but
No.
yeah, like this is set in America.
But I mean, if they were gonna find a place that looked closest to that, it would 100% be the closest location.
yeah.
It's quite overwhelming, to be honest. Walking down there, there's so much going on.
Well, the screens.
all the
are-
screens, all the people, all the lights,
Yeah.
tour buses,
Pedestrians.
TTC. Oh, honestly.
I don't want to go to a second location with you.
You never go to a second location. That is the number. If you get kidnapped, you can't go to a second location.
Can't. Walk away.
This is your one and only, mate. Once I go, I'm gone.
Sounds like you're giving him a second opportunity already.
Sounds like my second chance.
What have you got to lose?
My pride, my dignity, my happiness.
My money,
My
my
life.
job.
Obviously, no spoilers, but since this is diverting so far away from the comics, I do wonder if it's going to end the same as the comics.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
So I am assuming the show is wrapping after season 5. I think they've talked about that, but I will be curious to
Maybe.
see how it actually ends.
Do you think how they've diverted from the comics, they would be able to wrap it up?
Yeah, it's just it's not going to play out the same because like one of the big key points has already like it can't happen in the show. So
Because they've already canceled it?
they've already changed the character so much that it can't happen in that sense.
That's it. Further.
There's definitely a level of just like gross body horror in this show, especially some other soups with their powers.
The devil on your shoulder.
So did I convince you with that? Yeah, right? Like,
Work that out, and we'll have the. I can smell it.
You do the work. I'm having another drink.
hey, he recruited him. He's already
That's all
done
he needed
all
to
the
do.
processing work.
Number 2, Simon and Garfunkel. Number 3, Billy Joel.
Enough said.
That's it. That's all.
What a funny thing to say to someone you've just met. Do you know who my favorite musician is?
How dare you not know?
I don't think I'd ever sit beside a stranger on a bench.
Really?
They're so
No.
close.
Keep smiling. The show must go on.
I really resisted on that line.
Show must go on.
I really resisted.
Why?
Copyright. That's why. Ruining all my fun.
Turns out I'm not who I thought I was.
It's a very deep conversation with a stranger.
Right? Well, they're literally sitting 20 centimeters away from each other while she's on a phone call. But yes, I agree with you.
It's just weird. Nobody would do that.
Like you're not selling kids smack.
He knew the second he said that.
What is smack? Please enlighten me.
So who are you?
Ooh, loaded question.
Do you know who my favorite musician is?
You gotta lead with that.
He's not going to be happy when he finds out who she is.
Oh, isn't that just the crux of the whole thing?
Do you have a dog?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, he does.
This is like that scene in The Matrix.
Full circle.
There we go.
Hey.
Yeah, right?
Here it is. Maybe check out our podcast episode.
Yeah, right? There's a plug.
You could take the blue pill. Or was it the red pill? Anyway, take the other pill.
Lost the plot for a minute there. He did.
Look, you just got to take the other pill that's not the Matrix pill. You know what he's saying.
Take the other pill.
The music stings are great right now.
Right?
Homelander's always watching.
Just a little creepy.
Like a Renaissance painting on the ceiling.
Honestly.
Gay train. The 7.
I definitely don't have a crush on one of them.
Not even a little.
You ever see an asshole tear up 45K?
It hurts my soul that he did that.
Yeah.
Pick it up and tape it back together, you dumbass.
This is the principle of the matter.
I don't care.
It's a little inconvenience.
He's about to get more involved.
Just keep spitting blood on him.
I mean, use what you got.
Skin's carbon, highly conductive. Saw it on Jimmy Fallon.
We learned so much from Jimmy Fallon.
Apparently. Oh dear.
What's there to be worried about, Jenna? Just a little turbulence.
Sure.
Dan Trachtenberg directed this? That's kind of cool. Alrighty.
The boys.
Episode 1 of The Boys.
What'd you think, Jenna?
I
Speechless.
I liked it more than I thought I would.
All right. That's a positive.
That's a positive.
It's one of those things where I might actually like the comic more than the show.
Comic is pretty depressing and darker than this.
Yes, I can handle it on the page though,
Yeah,
right?
okay, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like it's not the story elements that I have a problem with. It's more so the seeing the some of it
Well,
is a little bit
Let me tell you, you'll see it in the comics too.
Yes, but it's a different medium, right?
I'm just going to say one word. Herogasm.
And so like the story is definitely interesting. I can see the appeal totally. I just personally am a little bit like, meh, it's a little more graphic than I typically would care to watch.
And
that's fair.
The graphic elements are graphic.
Yeah.
Like there's no way around
There's no
it.
holding back.
Yeah, like that's the show. So
Yeah.
like if that's a big deterrent, then yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
If we can take it away for 1 second, like the general premise of if there were actually superheroes, they would probably exploit user powers for whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Build a business out of it. I think that aspect of the show is like really the big driving home factor of it.
Yeah.
Of like, obviously we don't have real life superheroes, but if we did, this is probably what would happen.
Yeah. I feel like I would want to read like the plot summary,
Yeah.
like full, like in-depth detail, read it and just not see it. Because like I'm very interested in the story, but just my own personal like level that I would typically
the
prefer
comfort.
to
That you're
watch.
comfortable with,
It's just takes it a little further than my personal preference.
They definitely push the envelope.
100%.
Like very much push the envelope.
There's nothing else on TV that's doing stuff
No.
like this.
Yeah.
Part of the shock factor is what made people like pay attention to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's kind of like it brings you in, right? Of like you
Yeah.
gotta see, you'll never believe. And like every season, there's something that's like, oh my god. Like, what do you think Huey as a character for the first episode? Like already having a bit of a character arc of like he's this shy, doesn't really stand up for himself person. Comes around at the end, being like, I'm not running away this time. Like to contain that in the first episode is nice.
Yeah.
They don't really touch on Homelander a whole lot yet.
Going back and watching the first episode, like you could even tell from the first moment he's on screen. It's just this little
There's something.
the little
Yeah.
ticks
Yeah.
that the actor does. Like he plays the character so well.
I do think Homelander will go down as one of the greatest television villain portrayals. Like I honestly do think the acting that he does is incredible because it's so like he puts on like a fake mask to hide his like true emotions, but he's doing that with acting. As a standout part of the series, like what I think of is Homelander.
It's wild. Yeah, it goes places you didn't even think that it would go. And you're like, oh, how did we even get here?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's so many social commentary points that this show makes as it goes on. And sometimes it's more like jokey, like it's about like superhero movies. I enjoy it a lot. And I think it says a lot, but I do also hope that they wrap it up within like 5 seasons because I think they can really stick the landing and like nail it. I don't necessarily need it to go on
Well, I
for
feel
years
like
and years.
it's an indication that they're probably getting ready to wrap it up because they've already started doing like spin-offs with
Yeah.
Gen V. So I'm in the same boat as like I do think that, you know, it looks like Gen V is probably going to get one more season. But like when the universe as a whole, there's so much more that they could explore too.
Oh yeah, like the world of the boys could still exist outside of the titular boys. Like, but yeah, I think just as a whole, I don't think you're gonna continue watching this show just based off what you were saying. But like, would you see yourself, like you're saying, maybe reading up on like where it goes or anything like that?
Honestly, probably.
Yeah, go home and read about it right away.
It's just not something I prefer personally to watch. But like the story's interesting, and so it's that like weird mix for me where it's like I want to know what happens, I just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Because there's just that's the level that's a step too much for my personal taste, but it's like I also think it's a very interesting story, and I'm curious now as to like where it goes. So like I definitely could see myself reading through everything that happened, but I don't think I'll watch it, which I know is kind of a weird way to
No, I
take
know.
it, but just
Like in a similar vein, people do that with horror movies.
yeah.
Where they're like, I'm too scared to watch it, but I'll read what the plot is because the plot sounds interesting. So
yeah, exactly.
like that does happen too.
Okay, so that was a review of The Boys. Check out some of the other episodes that we've done on YouTube. Check out our Spotify for some of the podcasts that we've been dropping. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any recommendations, TV, movies, books, film scores, or composers, let us know in the comments. We're always looking for new things to add to our list.
Yep. And that's it. Stay away from Compound V.
Stay away from that Compound V.
That's your PSA for today.
PSA for the day. Stay away from Compound V. Nothing but bad news.
Bad news. Thank you so much for watching with us.
It's been a blast and a half.
Had a really good time.
As always.
You could like this video.
Or subscribe, even better.
If you want to see something for us to watch in the future, like a movie or TV show, please let us know in the comments.
And we'll get on that right away for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Woohoo!